What's up, guys? I hope your week is going along well so far. Now today I have some XRP news that you cannot afford to miss out on. If we quickly look at the state of the crypto market, we can clearly see that we've been trending sideways. We might be looking at a massive combo for the storm that's about to come. But once the storm is over, there will be a creation of a massive wave of millionaires. Today, we have a lot to talk about, guys. As always, we welcome you back to Money Side, your favorite crypto news channel. If you are new here, welcome to the XRP family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our daily crypto news updates. Before we get into today's topic, if you got to watch the Bitcoin Miami conference, there were some pretty wild moments in there. Remember, this conference was full of Bitcoin maximalists who descended there in the thousands to glorify Bitcoin. In this conference, all we could see is people talking of Bitcoin. Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. And when you tried to challenge their ideas, they would boo you. It all comes down to the fact that Bitcoin will be around for quite a while, but we need to admit it was never the chosen one, especially the fact that there is nothing more to it than its store of value gives other cryptos, like XRP, the chance to overrun Bitcoin. In fact, in just a few years, even XRP could make it to be a store of value. In this section, I want us to quickly go over some crucial quotes from an interview with Alan Cohen. As you already know, Alan Cohen served as the senior policy advisor to the former SEC chairman Jay Clayton from 2017 to 2021. On top of that, he was the global head of compliance at Goldman Sachs from 2004 to 2017. We have a few quotes here from his interview where he discusses the current state of cryptocurrency regulation in the U.S. In his interview, Cohen states that a second major area of regulatory focus is the application of blockchain technology to fiat currency and the global payments system, which appears to be heading towards a new digital era. On the global stage, the Financial Stability Board, the FSB, comprised of G20 finance masters, central banks, the Bank for International Settlements, the BIS, and other international organizations and global standard-setting bodies is hard at work on an overhaul of the global payment system that will likely embrace crypto assets in the form of fiat digital currency. That new system will replace or supplement the existing SWIFT system that has been the backbone of the global bank-to-bank payment system for decades. Further, Cohen states that the implication of fiat digital currency for existing cryptocurrencies is unclear. But let's not forget the old adage, don't bet against the Fed. You might modify that to say, don't bet against the central banks of the world to relinquish control over their money supply and currency. With that being said, we can see a tweet from XRP Crypto Wolf that says the European Central Bank has warned other banks that they're in a digital currency race against big tech, who will soon introduce their versions of digital currencies. Right now, the biggest threat to central banks is big tech and some cryptos that are posing a threat to central banks of the world. And as Cohen said in his interview, these central banks and politicians will not allow their currencies to be dethroned. Currencies from all these central banks will continue to exist, just now in the form of CBDCs, which is something we have discussed time and time again here on this channel. And as we have seen so far, the CBDCs will run on XRP and other cryptos that will support digital fiat currencies. However, we will see a big massacre for cryptos that will not help in the adoption of CBDCs. Such cryptos that don't have any utility will go to zero, and people will lose their money. But still, there is no bigger threat to your funds than not having cryptos at all. Lucky us who chose XRP a long time ago. We saw the vision that XRP had that most people didn't. Also, we have seen the conferences. Looking over at Twitter, ItPamp shared this picture, accompanied by the tweet, "This is what important conferences look like." Over 2 years ago now. Boy, oh boy, how far on they must be since then. Christine Lagarde, behind the scenes, not a bunch of coked up, annoying dwarves. We were in the same rooms with such influential heads, and still people dare to question the legitimacy of XRP. We have been in rooms with some of the most prominent financial heads on the planet, not because we had some milk and cookies, but because we are the future of revolutionizing the global payment systems. And we couldn't agree more. This is precisely what XRP was born to do. Now, far from that, we have another eye-catching headline on MarketWatch that I would like us to go over now. In an article by MarketWatch, we can see that the SEC and FINRA are going after brokers who don't do enough to protect their customers. It's not just corporations that are facing an epidemic of cyber attacks. American retail investors are struggling to contend with a surge in hackers taking over their investment accounts, regulators warn. As we all know, most of the retail investors right now are in the stock market and crypto. Of course, there are a few who got footed out in the last 50% correction. However, we still have a majority of them invested in the money markets than ever before. And as we have seen before, retail always gets annihilated, especially now with the prospects of this hack. The retail will be wholly destroyed. Possibly this hack could become the catalyst for upgrading and revolutionizing the global financial system. With things like these being warned about time and time again, we can't just close our eyes and rule them out. Such things can't just be dismissed. We must stay prepared for them. This is the time we all need to get our cold wallets to protect our crypto holdings. Yes, there is no taking risks here. We must protect our digital assets to avoid coming out on the other end as toast. No matter the amount of holdings you have, it could be thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But having a cold wallet is no longer an option, it is a necessity. Now, as we approach the end of this video, we want to look into some news on the possibility of the U.S. power grid being shut down. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm issued a warning to American companies. Our adversaries have the capability to shut down the entire U.S. power grid. When Granholm was asked by CNN's Jake Tapper about vulnerabilities in the electricity grid, and whether a foreign actor has the ability to shut it down, Granholm said, yeah, they do. There are thousands of attacks on all aspects of the energy sector and the private sector generally. She added, it's happening all the time. This is why the private sector and the public sector have to work together. In recent months, cyber attacks have led to temporary shutdowns of the country's largest fuel pipeline network and the world's largest meatpacking company, both believed to have been carried out by Russian hackers. The hackers target companies through weaknesses in their cybersecurity and then hold hostage specific data and systems, demanding payment to restore control back to the company. Granholm emphasized that companies need to defend themselves against this threat by increasing their cybersecurity measures. Everyone needs to wake up and up their game in terms of protecting themselves, but also in terms of telling the federal government if they are a target of attacks, she said. The secretary also noted that new regulations from the Transportation Security Agency, the TSA, now mandate that the pipeline companies report cyber incidents to the federal government immediately when they happen. But Granholm urged companies not to pay the ransom, saying that it only encourages the bad guys. Granholm's comments echoed those of FBI Director Christopher Wray, who told the Wall Street Journal last week, the scale of this problem is one that I think the country has to come to terms with. As we can see, we have a lot to prepare for. Everyone who probably thought it was all a drill can now see it all on the horizon. A clash in the financial system is fast approaching, currency crises and infrastructure crises that we need to be prepared for as well. Things are about to get very volatile in the crypto market, and when such volatility arises, it's time for new changes. As a direct consequence, the changes will make us crypto holders millionaires. But the trick is preparing and bracing yourself for impact now. We are closer than we have ever been, but now is not the time to sit back. It's actually time to work harder than we have before. With that in mind, let's take a look at the price action of XRP on the charts. Now we're taking a look at the 4-hour time frame. The price now receives the first and strong support of 0.61% of 5/0 level, and after that, we have the second support that is an orange cycle and is a daily support of trend line. If that trend line breaks, then we are looking for dump and more correction. If we look at the daily chart, we broke down from the smaller triangle. There was also a short-term ascending channel from which we broke down. Reached the bottom of the larger triangle, and now we need to see whether it will bounce from here again, like the previous two times, or whether we will see a move down to the indicated targets. The first major support is at 0.75, which, if broken, will take us to the next major support at 0.63, a move that I have been waiting for some time. Below that, we will go all the way to around 0.47. RSI is moving down, and the MACD about to cross. The 20 EMA is about to cross below the 100 EMA, and that is not a very good sign. Moving up, we have immediate resistance at 0.9 rather than 1.0, and then 1.05 to deal with. If we break from the big triangle and retest is unsuccessful, we will definitely be tested the aforementioned targets. But this area has provided decent support in the past, so let's wait and see what happens. As always, trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Tell us what you think in the comments section below, and let's have a conversation. As always, I thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and to click on that subscribe button below. Turn on notifications so you're informed whenever we post our amazing content. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.